Why does consistency matter in building a business coaching business? That's what we're discussing today on the podcast. Let's jump in. BJ O'Neill here with the Business Coaching Success Podcast. So glad you're here, where I share with you strategies, tools, and tips to be able to grow your business coaching practice to six figures and beyond as a Christian business coach. Let's jump in. Welcome. Glad you're here. We're going to have a shorter episode for a reason. I want to double down and help you to harness the power of consistency. It is not unusual in our culture today to feel spread thin, to feel overwhelmed, to feel with a consistent feeling of like, I'm not sure what to do. What has it been in my experience, not only for myself, but also in working with lots of other guys in our coaching network, that when we lack consistency, the challenges get just 10x. They really, really do. I mean, when you apply, and by the way, before I forget to say, I don't care if you have a full-time job. I don't care if you own a business. I don't care if you own a ton of real estate. You have a lot going on in your life. Consistency helps no matter where you're at. It's just the level of consistency that you're going to give based upon your bandwidth, your time, your desire, your goals, all those things. And so when we don't have a solid plan, but bigger than that, when we're not working the plan consistently, that's when challenges begin to really mount. Okay? Now, Jesus taught in parables. I think parables are important. I think story illustrates opportunity and challenges themselves. And so when you look at some of the obvious things in life, and I think one of those things that, if you enjoy or desire to have a really solid lawn, right? Like if you're one of those guys, I've got a few neighbors that, they are just amazing at their lawn. We're okay, but theirs is dynamite. Well, I can tell you firsthand, no doubt, that those guys consistently have more activity and more of the right activity in having a greener, thicker, weed-free lawn than the vast majority of the neighborhood. Why? They tend to it more. They probably fertilize it more often. And probably when they do fertilize it, they're on the right kind of schedule. They understand what's needed. That consistency has taught them things. And so it's not rocket science at the end of the day, but it's the question really is that if you're currently coaching, do you believe that you are as consistent as you can and should be? And if you're looking to develop a business coaching practice, I can tell you right now, the number one thing that you should embrace as you build it is to be consistent regardless of what you're looking to do. If you only had 1 day a week, 4 days per month. But if you were consistent in knowing when, how, and what, it's going to change your life. So here's 10 things in a quick manner that's what consistency does. And if you're riding a bike or jogging or whatever, you can pause and use your notes app. If you're sitting down somewhere, write some of these things down. If you are driving, do not write. But maybe you can come back at a later time to write these down because it matters. When you understand the why behind things, it really can change a lot of things in your business. Number one, it creates momentum. When you're consistent at a number of activities, I don't care what the activity is, it's the lead gen, it's the conversations, it's the coaching piece, it just creates momentum. Momentum is real. If you don't think momentum is real, watch a snow come off a mountain and see what happens. It'll continue. That's why I call it an avalanche. It has a momentum effect. And that's exactly what, when you're doing anything in life where you're doing the same measurement a day in and day out at whatever level, high or low, but you're doing it consistently, things can change. A small drip of water in a very small flow onto concrete can still crack the concrete over time. Won't get there as fast, obviously. It still can happen. So it creates momentum. Number two, it develops habits. Consistency develops habits. It'll also help you to recognize which habits you need to develop the most. Habit forming is a gift. Actually, it's more of a skill than a gift. For some people, they already have the gift. Others, you have to develop it, but it's the skill to develop it, to be habitual when you do not want to be habitual when you're not thinking about it. Consistency reduces overwhelm. This is a big one. I think most people in the world, certainly in the West, feel overwhelmed all the time. Why? Lack of consistency, lack of plan, lack of drive. Consistency reduces overwhelm. Consistency helps you know what not to do. I would argue that consistency helps you to know what not to do as much, if not more, than what to do. Because when you're consistently testing, when you're consistently trying, you're going to say, well, and you have to kind of develop a mindset of like, I'm not going to get married to one way. I'm going to just go try it, do it, work at it, and realize, that didn't work, and move on. Consistency over time, it should reflect your values. And when you're doing a behavior in a rudimentous action, especially in working with others, they recognize the power that you are consistent. You may not always say it in those words, but it's emulating, and certainly you're oozing energy because of your consistency. Consistency improves your skills. When you're doing something on a consistent, you are going to get better. And if you're not getting better, you'll recognize that to figure out where you need help and who you should get it from. Consistency will enhance your credibility. When you're doing something on a consistent basis, it absolutely increases your credibility because of that level of always doing. Part of this sometimes is optics. It's not so much about that we're trying to trick people optically. It's just that when they see that you're doing something on a consistent basis, it just improves your credibility, and it also, in addition to that, fosters loyalty. People are drawn to, and they're magnetized to, those who really know what they're doing. They're drawn to and magnetized to those who have a plan. They're drawn and magnetized to those people who appear, based upon their actions and their behaviors, that they have a solid plan of action, and that increases loyalty. Consistency increases your visibility. As you're doing things, whether it's going to networking functions, whether it's showing up on social media, making posts on LinkedIn, sending people emails, whatever, when you're doing any of those functions consistently, it improves and increases your visibility. Last one in this shorter episode today. This is a big one. I'm dangling it above you. So I want you to think about it. If you're slightly distracted at the moment, this is a big one that I'm about to lay on you. If this is what you want in your life, it'll give it to you. Consistency gives you peace. And as a believer, as a Christ follower, when we're working with consistency, we're asking God, we're inviting Him into this process. As I do these consistent behaviors, as I go over here and do this, as I have a content plan, and I'm going to do it this way Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever those days may be of the week, all or none or one or whatever. And you're asking God to bless those actions, highlight the ones that you should continue with, discontinue the ones that you shouldn't. I believe things can change in an amazing way, but ultimately it gives you peace. And I think that's what we're always looking for, peace and clarity. It matters in growing your business coaching practice. If you are, if this message resonates with you, you're looking to grow a business coaching practice, you can go to businesscoachmastery.com. That's businesscoachmastery.com. There's some information there. You can see our done-for-you solution that we give to coaches to develop a solid, profitable business coaching practice so you can live life on your terms. All right. Until next time, take care.